Hello and welcome to the Wrestling Corner episode 19 with our Backlash review this week. Obviously, we did have the pay-per-view at the greatest wrestling match ever. We had Street Profits Viking Raiders segment. We had another good Cody defense, and we had a very good episode of Raw, in my opinion. But as always, I'm joined by Simon. Today, how are you?
Yeah, doing all right. Backlash was decent.
Yeah.
On the whole of it, it was a little bit long, like compared to Money in the Bank, but yeah, it was fine.
It was watchable. Without further ado, we'll go immediately into AEW. AEW opened up with FTR, Dax Howard, and Cash Wheeler versus a Butcher and the Blade. Hi, Gavin Smith. Nice to see you. But yeah, very decent, a great opening match, sort of with their AEW's career. It was more after the match which happened. So Tony Schiavone came out to interview. Young Bucks came out to congratulate FTR. Butcher and Blade started attacking them both. Kip and Sabian and Jim Havoc came out and attacked them both. So Hangman Page and Kenny Omega made the save, sort of teasing the FTR. Are they going to attack the Young Bucks? Are we going to get this match we've all wanted? Another thing I really did like was Tully and Arn scouting them in the stadium, in the stands. Really like that.
Yeah.
Then it was announced that the Natural Nightmares would face Kenny Omega and Hangman Page next week. Sort of just setting up the QT Marshall and Ali thing where Dustin Rhodes wants to be this high tier competitor, but QT Marshall's getting distracted with Ali. We did have a women's tag team match with Kurashida, the women's champ, versus with Chris Statlander, sorry. And versus Nyla Rose and Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford picks up the win in that. Typical heel win. Sabian was out there, gets a distraction. Ford knocks out Shida with a shot from the belt. Ford hits suplex and a pin. 1, 2, 3. She's more or less the number one contender now. I mean, you need to build up some. You need to sort of have new challenges. I think Penelope Ford is a very decent one, I'd say.
Yeah, there's not much story, is there, in the women's division?
Not really. And now, especially when you've got two of your main characters out injured.
Yeah, I say it doesn't help that now Britt Baker and Chris Statlander are on the shelf, but
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Britt's be back soon, but
I would say it's been a month since Britt's been out, and it were only 2 or 3 months, so I guess she's nearly there.
Yeah, she's nearly there. I think they need her back because they need actual women's characters. I think where I mean, I like Penelope Ford. I think she's great. So give me more of.
Yeah, no, I really like Penelope Ford, but there's not. She feels a little bit disconnected, I think, from the rest of the women's division in the sense that she's always with she's never really interacted with any of the other women's wrestlers. She's always with Kip Sabian, but it's an easy fix.
Yeah, we did get a video package of Darby Allin with Tony Hawk saying he's not made it clear, but Darby was just doing skate tricks with Tony Hawk, which was pretty cool. We did have
I didn't know who Tony Hawk was.
What?
I presume it's a big name.
Yes. Yeah. Tony Hawk is a big name. I'm not a skateboard fan, but I know who Tony Hawk is.
Okay, I've said before, I'm not tuned in with pop culture.
Then we did have the Holla Holla Play 6-man tag team match this time. Fresh Squeezed, Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends versus Hager and Santana Ortiz. I mean, do you want to talk through this match? You should probably watch it.
I mean, I've watched a lot since then, so I can't remember too much. It'll have been fine.
Yeah.
Like it was fun. I'll just read off the notes here and hope that it comes back to me. The finish came when that was it. The finish came when Orange Cassidy got the pin on Ortiz, and it was a really sort of it was a roll up combination that I know I've never seen before. Ortiz, it was just a really good pinfall. I'm like JR in the sense that I just love good pinfalls. But yeah, Jericho came out, joined the rest of them, and they just beat down Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. Mm-hmm. And I think that was it. He pulled out that massive bag of oranges, didn't he?
Yeah.
Hit Orange Cassidy with them, and then they made loads of puns about beating him to a pulp and
Yeah.
blood orange and yeah,
It
not
all
bad.
works.
Oh,
I mean,
and
there's a few.
Jericho was on commentary for the first half of the show, and it was
Oh,
so
great.
funny.
Because Jericho's up there with like a KO, a Samoa Joe now, but like in terms of comedy, KO, Fandango, and New Day have also been up there where they make the commentary more entertaining. Jericho's number one for sure though.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have had him out there when there was already 3 people on the booth.
Yeah,
But again, that's an easy sort of fix. You just have Jericho and Schiavone really.
Yeah, or even Jericho and Excalibur. I really like
Yeah.
Excalibur though. But Tony Schiavone was trying to interview the Gun Club. MJF came out, sort of set up a match next week. Billy Gunn versus MJF. Just typical MJF stuff.
Yeah, cool. Oh, it's Billy though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not Austin.
Who's but yeah, but in the sense of who's Billy, everyone says it's Billy Gunn. It's not Billy Gunn. It's Billy.
It is Billy.
Yeah. It's a bit weird, and on the face of it, you wouldn't name yourself Billy, but
well, yeah, but Austin's called Austin Gunn, and they're called the Gun Club.
Yeah, Gun Club, Austin Gunn, but just Billy.
Just Billy.
Yeah.
Someone else the other name. Then we had Sammy Guevara versus Colt Cabana. So Sammy picks up the win, doesn't he? And then it's more the Dark Order after.
Yeah, I would say this wasn't really about Sammy Guevara for once. It's about Colt Cabana going into Brody Lee's office.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we
Colt Cabana joining Dark Order.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of people in that stable, but
there is.
I guess that's what a cult does. It recruits people.
It recruits people, and I think we haven't introduced a proper recruit. Really, amazing.
Colt
and moving on, that were poor.
It wasn't mine. It's definitely still.
Sammy, but after the match, so Colt had gone, and then Sammy was in the ring, saying he was the best. Matt Hardy came out and said, "You are the future of AEW. Gonna give you some advice. You need to get away from Jericho and Inner Circle. Trust me." And then he said, "I'm going to mash you, Samuel. Delete, delete, delete." Sort of the split personality of Matt Hardy. I mean, we've got a question from Ben Game, the legend of the Twitch chat. He said, I think Orton will challenge McIntyre next and Orton will win the title. He'll hold it until Hell in a Cell when Edge takes from him in an I Quit match at 3 stages of Hell match. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I mean, we'll come on to it when we go to Backlash, but... and Raw.
Obviously, I haven't seen the question, but yeah, we'll go on.
It's not even a question, it's just a statement.
All right.
But, like... Yeah, we'll come to it when we go to Raw and Backlash. We had a little Joey Janela thing. Him and Sonny Kiss.
Yeah, they've been all right on Dark. I've not been blown away, but did you watch Dark?
No, I rarely watched Dark.
The Mox match was really worth watching just because of Taz on commentary. Taz on commentary was so good.
Well, I know Taz has been tweeting a lot and he's been decent.
Yeah, it was basically just that, but in commentary form. Whilst like Brian Cage is standing over him behind the commentary table.
Oh, I like that.
It's worth a watch. I mean, not much else on Dark. But that for sure.
It sets up a lot of little stuff for the main show. We had a little John Moxley promo. Mox is always good. Taz sort of came out and stuff. Brian Cage ambushed him, just attacking his thing. And then you had the main event. Cody came out with Arnson against Marge Quinn. Accompanied by Isaiah Cassidy and Matt Hardy. I mean, I'll let you talk about the match because you watched it more than.
Yeah, I really don't remember too much. It was just Mark Quinn was selling the leg that injured last week for like the vast majority of the match, and then it was basically just telling the story because Mark Quinn's young and like hyper, and he'd keep doing like big moves, but then with every move it'd injure the leg further.
Oh, that's great.
And the finish came when he went for like the big shooting star press.
Mm-hmm.
Cody misses, and no crossroads. Cody just goes straight for a knee bar.
Great. I like that because the
makes sense.
match could have easily crossroads and pin, but sort of it doesn't make Quen feel weaker in
No,
terms of
no, it's what Cody's best at, picking up wins and elevating people in the process. I don't quite know how he does it, but
it's Cody.
yeah,
Jake Hager came out of the match seeing this and approached Thingy, put his hands on Arn. Cody tried to defend him. Hager attacked him. Private Party Matt Hardy came out. The Inner Circle came out. And then at Fyter Fest, Cody basically went, I know what you want the title match at Fyter Fest. You've got it. So
right. So
Cody Hager.
kayfabe, what if Cody loses the belt tomorrow night?
Well, he'll be the winner. I'm guessing against Hager.
All right, so I was thinking Cody's just made a match that might be a part of. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. Half decent episode of AEW. Nothing much to talk about.
It was fine. What are we 2 weeks away from Fight Fest?
3.
Well, we're 2 and 3, aren't we? Because Fight Fest is across 2 weeks.
July the 1st and July the 8th.
Yeah. So in 3 episodes time, but obviously like one of them episodes.
Wait, July the 1st is a Wednesday.
Yeah. Fighter Fest is just TV.
Yeah.
It's like Back to the Beach.
Yeah. Forgot about. But decent episode of AEW. Nothing more, nothing less. We'll move on to NXT now because NXT had a great main event. But we'll start talking about it now. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae defeated NXT North America Joey Kitley and Mia Yim in a mixed tag team match. Very good one. Great result as well. With sort of like Lee hit LeRae. He was worried about it. Gargano didn't care. Rolled up Lee for the victory. They both ran out. Well done. I really like this Johnny Gargano. I think Candice needs to have some more singles matches to sort of put her character across because I think Johnny's is already there, but all it needs is a couple more, like maybe 2 weeks of matches.
As I say, I'm still behind, but I think Candice LeRae had a singles match on the last one I watched. I don't know. It's better than any of the babyface stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't think they'd turn a heel, but
they did it, and it's working as well.
Yeah,
that's one thing. I think sometimes it could have gone very wrong, but not bad. I'm trying to see. Okay, we did get some backstage segments of a bunch of wrestlers confronting Cole. So we had Keith Lee was one of them. There was one more. Someone else. Might be Cameragrams. Someone else confronting backstage. Then we obviously got the main event. Indusher picked up a win over Mikey Delbray and Mike Reed. So again, it's a squash match, but it gets Indusher on TV. So they're trying to make their title become a title threat. Finn Balor defeated Cameron Grimes again. It was a show of decent matches. And obviously Finn Balor Cameron Grimes was going to be a good match. Because obviously Grimes has got a win on Finn Balor. I'm very confident. Yeah. It's against Grimes. So Grimes sort of Balor got his revenge. They made a singles match Dakota Kai against Casey Catanzaro. So Catanzaro actually being on TV now. I mean, obviously she's been in like the crowd for Raws and stuff, but there was always a bunch of thing how she actually didn't like wrestling, but now she does like wrestling. So at least she's on the show.
I don't really know where they're going with Katie Catanzaro. Like, hasn't she been in NXT for like 2 years now, and then she retired and then came back and
I think they're more going for a tag team with Kaden Carter because after this Kaden Carter came out, sort of even up the numbers against Raquel Gonzalez.
Right, Katie Catanzaro's good, but I feel like she'd be way more suited to main roster.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like they could really push the like Ninja Warrior stuff.
Yeah, it's very mainstream, and that's what Raw's got.
I don't really see where she fits in NXT. Like, I think she's good to watch and stuff, but that way it's a crowded women's division.
Yeah, and obviously Kai picking up the incorrect result. Oh, this bit. El Hijo del Fantasma revealed himself as Santos Escobar and attacked Drake Maverick. So El Fantasma comes out holding the bench in a belt, holding the mask. Maverick comes out and just he congratulates him and just says, "Well done." But I am going to come for that belt. And Fantasma goes, "Yep, that's fair." And then two masked men come out, like the people who've been kidnapping people on the show. And then so like they both stand off to fight these guys. Phantasma hits Maverick. And it was the two masked men were Joaquin Wild and Brown Mendoza, the two guys who had been kidnapped the previous weeks before. So they had not been kidnapped. It was all sort of a ruse. But yeah. Then Phantasma and Masks. He's called himself Santos Escobar. Really liked it. I think it's a definitive heel in the cruiserweight brand. You've got your biggest heel, your biggest babyface in Maverick and Escobar. He's got his sort of what's the word? Sort of lackeys with him. It all fits into the storyline of the kidnappings. Great.
Who was it explained who kidnapped Joaquin Wild in the first place and Raul Mendoza?
I think it was more a thing like they were maybe it was El Hijo del Fantasma who kidnapped him. I think that's what they're going for.
Right.
Or it was all like a fake kidnapping. We thought they'd been kidnapped, but it was just maybe to keep them hidden.
I mean, either way, I'm really looking forward to watching. That's the angle that I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah. Because it's something that's actually been set up rather than like I think a lot of feuds in WWE just like I challenge you to a match. This was a long-standing thing in terms of they got kidnapped 4 weeks ago.
What, Mendoza and Wild?
Yeah.
They were kidnapped whilst we were still at uni.
Exactly.
So that's about what, 3.5 months?
Yeah, exactly. Like stupidly long. Which facing I'm guessing that's what they were going for the entire time. Because and El Hijo del Fantasma was on TV.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like Santos Escobar now. And it probably makes him easier to say than having to say his full name every time. I mean, you can call him Phantasm, but he doesn't have the same ring. We did get the main event, though, which was Adam Cole against Dexter Lumis. The promo in the early night, I think it opened the show, was Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era boys, and Roddy Strong just getting flashbacks. Because obviously, at Takeover New House, Roddy Strong and Fish got kidnapped. And Strong was just seeing Dexter Lumis in the crowd. He cut back and he wasn't there. Cole and Fish were like, "What's going on? Are you okay?" Like, Lumis is so good, isn't
he? He may well be. I'm looking forward to this match, although I don't want to see Dexter Lumis lose. But yeah, Dexter Lumis and Fandango are my two NXT favourites at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
By a country mile. Not even Tyler Breeze, Fandango.
Really? I was saying, to the end, there's a great promo package on, I think it's WWE YouTube channel, about Fandango and Tyler Breeze's journey to the NXT Tag Team division. And it's mental that Fandango, they didn't say his name, but Fandango has a WrestleMania win over Chris Jericho. Tyler Breeze, I'm pretty confident, has held a win or a loss against Jushin Thunder Liger. Like,
yeah, he beat him. Yeah, Clay.
It's like Chris Jericho, the GOAT, Liger, the GOAT. Yeah, these two end up being in a comedy thing. And it was a thing of them saying, yes, we can come out, we can dress however we want, because we can be whatever we want. But when we get in that ring, we're not to be taken as a joke, which I really liked. It's sort of bringing a new element to sort of the characters that are your jokey tag teams.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I like, because like you can be a more light-hearted character and still have a little bit of dimension rather than just being there.
It's the NXT effect. But if we go back to the main event, so Lumis, Local and the Katagatame, Strongfish came out to attack him. Lumis finally broke the hold. Do you know, like we saw a couple of weeks ago, they were just holding him and not releasing even when being attacked. It happened here. He got attacked so much. He released the hold. Dream came out to sort of even the odds, fighting off Fish while Lumis followed Strong. leaving Adam Cole by himself. And then all of a sudden, it just goes all black. Scarlett comes out. No, it's all black, and then there's just an hourglass in the middle of the ring. Scarlett stood there. She starts to walk back. She stares at him once more, leaves. The NXT Performance Center is all black, just apart from two things: Adam Cole and this lit up hourglass. And this looks so good. I don't know what you
Really
thought
cool.
of it, like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously I've seen it because how could I have not seen it? Like it's been everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Just,
Karrion Kross wins in like 10 minutes.
man, I don't
Like
want
he's
Cole
got
to lose the championship, but I'm happy if it's Karrion Kross who takes it.
Yeah, no, I think it's Cole's time to go. Like quit while you're ahead. Like they should lose it whilst he's still kind of on top and got an exciting reign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I'd probably just have him go main roster.
Oh.
Because he's done everything in NXT.
He has, but I just don't want to see him go main roster because Vince still might faction.
Oh well, yeah. Even if it was Heyman still in charge, you'd be like, well, there's a chance, but Bruce Pritchard's vision is in line with what Vince wants. Adam Cole's what, under 6 foot?
He's under 6 foot. He's not a flippy guy though, so he's got that in his locker. But yeah.
Yeah, but he's not Vince's guy.
He's not. I mean, I like the show on Raw. Obviously, after all the news broke about Heyman moving and Pritchard taking over the entire thing. But yeah, decent episode of NXT though. Very decent.
Yeah.
We'll go to SmackDown now though. Show opened up. We had Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro defeating the New Day. I mean, I think with a lot with the main roster.
Oh no! We started with Jeff Hardy getting pissed on. No, Sheamus
getting pissed on. Sorry, it's because I would say every week the WWE website just never has segments. So yeah, right. We had the Jeff Hardy piss segment. So Sheamus comes out and says, "I refuse to wrestle Jeff Hardy until he takes a drug test." Hardy goes, "Okay, I'll take the drugs test." Goes behind a little thing, pisses into a cup. Really needs to start drinking some more water because that was very orange.
It wasn't the greatest colour ever.
And sort of Hardy comes out. I don't know why Hardy's holding his own piss pot when it's been tested, but it's tested. The doctor says it's clear or something. No, he doesn't even say it's clear, does he? Don't think he gets a chance.
Yeah. The one even at that conclusion, I hated it.
And then it's better to be pissed off than pissed on. Boom, throws the apple juice. Sheamus sells it great, and yeah.
The
piss segment.
I rate a wrestling segments based on if a stranger was to walk into the room, what would they think?
Oh,
this isn't the one.
No, they'd go, "What the fuck? Why are you watching wrestling? You weirdo."
Yeah.
But then we had a little hype package of Matt Riddle. He's debuting next week.
Right, what's he gonna do?
I'm trying to think of what jobbers have we got. Denzel Dejanay.
Or Dallas.
Oh, he hasn't returned. Oh yeah. But
still around. You shouldn't give him an enhancement talent like a performance center. Like you should give him an actual wrestler, but someone who's just quite like Bo. Shorty, no, he's more likely to be teaming with Shorty.
It'll be Ali, won't it? Ali and being on TV or something.
Yeah, but Ali, you can't have Matt Riddle go against a face.
You can. Matt Riddle can wrestle anyone and he'll be the favourite.
Yeah, but look at them video packages. Like people really like Ali. Like that just it's got to be.
He's one of my favourite, but unfortunately, the WWE don't like him for some reason. Don't know why, but there must be a reason. Must be. I don't have a wrestling picture this week. It's Shaggy from Scooby Doo, so did not realise. We'll leave it though. We did get that tag team match we mentioned earlier, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro defeating the New Day. Again, just setting up the tag team division a bit more. They're the probably new number one contenders. Well, hey,
Yeah,
what more
yeah.
for?
What happened to Mojo Rawley?
Yeah, and Chad
Chad.
Gable.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Sorry, Shorty J.
yeah, that's the one.
I don't know. That is that they
yeah.
just they weren't even on the show.
I mean, you can say they weren't a part of the match, but like,
There were
you
only
can't
3
just
matches.
randomly join the faction one week and then leave the next.
I know.
Xavier Woods must be coming back soon.
He's gotta.
He's got to be.
I mean, he's been out for so long, but
Yeah, I'll have a look when he was out.
yeah, well,
Right,
I'll
I
move
know.
on to the next segment.
Yeah, I know the next segment was supposedly the greatest wrestling match ever 2.0, but on WWE's YouTube they uploaded less than 2 minutes of it, so that's all I'll say.
Right. I was gonna talk about the Bailey Sasha thing first because I think that was before it.
Alright.
Oh, good shot from Bembo actually. I think Matt Riddle will challenge AJ. And in fairness, immediately put the belt on him.
Yeah, no, I can fully see that because AJ's doing like not an open challenge, but no, he's having a title celebration, isn't he?
Riddle.
Like Riddle interrupts. Yeah, that's probably spot
That's a
on.
great shout. But we had Bailey and Sasha throw an epic championship friendship celebration. So Bailey and Sasha come out, there's balloons and everything. They start cutting the typical promos that the heels do. Alexa and Nikki come out, basically say, "You bitches, attack them." Every segment seems like the same when it's a celebration segment. Like it's heels come out, oh look at us, we're amazing. Babyface come out, no you're not. Attack, end. There's nothing that seems to separate them all, which
Yeah,
is just
yeah. So I was looking at Xavier Woods. Not been seen since October 21st when he and Big E got beat by the Revival for the SmackDown tag titles.
October 2019, obviously.
Yeah.
So 3 months, then
8 months.
8 months.
And they
What
said
was
he
out
was
with?
going to be out for about 8 months.
Was it ACL he was out for?
Achilles,
Achilles.
which is like next worst thing.
Yeah, so it should be back soon. We had a little thing of Otis and Tucker reunite backstage for some pre-match training. Your typical goofiness of Otis. Yep. Then AJ Styles defeated Daniel Bryan, and it was a great match. It really was. It was two of the best wrestlers in the world, in WWE at least, have given an opportunity to actually wrestle. I mean, we'll come on to it to Backlash, but it was just a great match. Go on. You sound like you're going to say something.
No, what I found really disheartening was like I found that like I'm sure it was an unreal match and stuff. And I'm just reading here in the analysis to be like, this will show the Fox audience what SmackDown is all about. And then I had a look at the YouTube numbers at the time. And Jeff Hardy throwing piss had twice as many views.
As much, some people don't care about the wrestling.
So
And I
like,
love my stupid segments, but this is a match that should be getting your big views.
yeah, like it just goes to show like people don't watch wrestling for the wrestling.
I think you upload the full match on YouTube,
which is really sad. Yeah, I mean they won't be allowed, but yeah.
No, but it was a great match.
I mean they'd have had it on Backlash had it been any other pay-per-view, but you can't have the greatest wrestling match ever be the second best match of the night, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's such a shame because it was a great match. But yeah, good match. AJ's new champion. I wonder where Bryan goes from this. That's the interesting one.
I'm not sure he needs to go anywhere. Like, I think someone will rock up and like they'll just. He's in that spot where he can just sort of slot in anywhere,
and he doesn't feel out of place. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Then we did get the main event, which was Braun Strowman and Heavy Machinery returning together, defeating Dolph Ziggler, The Miz, and John Morrison. This shouldn't be genuinely AJ and Styles main event. I mean, last night me, Kieran, L of formerly of the wrestling podcast, but of the NFL corner and the top corner one, and Kieran D of the top corner. We all watched Raw last night together. We were on a call watching it, and I was just saying that I don't understand. I've lost steam in Otis.
Right. Do you think he's trimming down? It's off topic, but
What do you mean? Why is he losing weight?
yeah, you don't think he's a lot slimmer than he was? And part of what makes Otis funny is
he's a chunk. Well, let's have a look. I'm switching the segment.
He needs a new finisher before I can really get invested.
He's Caterpillar, isn't it?
He's a lot better with Tucker by his side. But at what point over the next 11 months can you see him beating that brand's top guy, whether it's The Fiend or Braun?
I genuinely don't.
Or whether Matt Riddle ends up in that role, or I
feel so. Do you know? I feel so for Tucker because Tucker is the better wrestler, guaranteed. Like Otis is more charismatic and entertaining, and sometimes that's all you need. But this is why the tag team works well. Like I remember the Elimination Chamber. Heavy Machinery were great because Otis was getting the crowd on the side in terms of getting them to rally up, doing the comedy stuff, being the energetic one, and then Tucker was doing the moves that made the team look like an actual threat. Because if it was just Otis being comedy and Tucker not being a good wrestler, he wouldn't have the same ring. But Tucker was hitting decent moves, like
I mean, wrestling isn't about the wrestling isn't about the moves. Like
I know.
Everyone can do the moves. It's all about what makes you different. And Otis is certainly different, but
he's very different.
I don't. As the weeks go by, I become more and more sure that he's not cashing in successfully.
Yeah, I just never want to tune into SmackDown because I know that's going to be the main event, and who wants to? People do want to see it, don't they? But yeah, that's just my.
I don't know whether Otis is a draw. Maybe Braun's a draw.
Maybe Otis rolls up Braun, rolls him up. The week after Otis gets challenged by someone, he loses it. I hate non-Money in the Bank cash-ins, and that's the problem because I don't want to see Otis as champion. Yet I don't want to see him the belt go.
He wasn't the obvious choice. Like we all thought it was going to be barely anyone thought it was going to be Otis.
We thought he was going to have some comedy spots.
Yeah, and him winning was a comedy spot.
Yeah, he won it by luck. But that was SmackDown. It wasn't bad. But again, I think you're gonna hear this from me every week. As long as Otis is main eventing, I'm never gonna be excited. I don't mind if he was on the show normally doing what he's doing, but I think this is the main event.
You've got Baron Corbin syndrome.
I like Corbin.
But in the sense that everyone likes Corbin, but no one likes Corbin as a main eventer. He's a solid mid-carder. You like Otis, but you like Otis as a mid-carder. You don't like him main eventing the shows.
I know. We'll move on because
Baron Corbin syndrome. I'll tell you.
We'll move on to Backlash though. That was on Sunday. We've had a lot of wrestling this week, but that on Sunday was a decent pay-per-view. It opened up on the kickoff show. I didn't watch. I only watched the kickoff, and then I watched the women's triple threat. Then I went to bed. So and then I woke up and watched the things, a couple of things later. But you might have to carry me in sort of the halfway through the show.
Okay.
But we show up. The kickoff show was Apollo Crews defeating Andrade. Apollo gets win after sort of Angel Garza tries to get involved. Distraction. Apollo picks up the win. It leads on to Raw. Apollo's still champion. Great. Andrade and Angel Garza are in their little feud. Perfect.
Yeah, it went 7 minutes. There's not much to say.
No. But the actual main show opened up with the women's tag team champions Bayley and Sasha Banks defeating Alexa Bliss, and Nikki Cross, and the Iconics. Really enjoyed this.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know,
I
maybe
thought
because
it,
if
I
you're
thought
watching
it,
wrestling with someone, it's more enjoyable. But I really liked it.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, I absolutely just sit watching them on my own. But yeah, yeah. I don't know. It was fine. Like it was a match that happened. Yeah.
I think it was energetic. There wasn't a dull moment in the match. People had good showings. I don't think there was a
Yeah.
bad showing in the match.
In that sense, it was quite a hot opener. Yeah, it was quite fast paced.
And great result as Sasha and Bailey are going to be on NXT.
All right, this is before we just come on to it. This was a major bugbear of mine. So many times in the main event of this show, they cut to the crowd reactions, and I think the person they cut to in the crowd most was Shotzi Blackheart.
Mm-hmm.
They did not give Shotzi Blackheart a single mention by name, by anything. Like she could have been anyone. She's challenging for that title tomorrow night.
That's one of the problems
Come
with
on.
why I didn't like having certain people crowd. First of all, take out the people who don't look like they should be there. So you sort of more serious characters
Swerve,
should. Sorry.
Swerve was in the crowd for the main event. I mean, I know that makes sense, but I know that's fine because he's not a serious guy. But come on, oh no, the Shotzi Blackheart one really wound me up.
I don't think you should have people who are going to be on TV. Like Jake Atlas was in the audience for a couple of things a couple of weeks ago. He was in the title picture.
Yeah, yeah, spot on.
I've come to him a lot.
It,
Rich Holland.
yeah,
He's a guy whose he's trying to stay in character because he wants to put his character over, but that doesn't fit in the audience way. So just take him out. If he doesn't fit in, take him out.
yeah. Malcolm
Buggs,
Bivens.
Malcolm Bivens, yeah. Malcolm Bivens could sort of works as like scouting. Rick Buggs is a person who should be hard cam, like
Yeah, Rick
especially
Buggs
on
should
Raw.
still be there.
So I was talking to Kieran L and Kieran D. They didn't know who Rick Buggs was. I was like, so you never watched
That's
NXT
disgraceful.
when Eric Bugenhagen got his like a month and a half of fame
It's one of
when
the
he was
best
the best
NXT
thing on
debuts of
TV.
all time.
Then he was consistent. He was getting loads of love, and then he just disappeared. Got a name change, and
Can't
he's
believe
using this to elevate himself, which I love.
he is, but he isn't because only wrestling fans know who Rick Buggs is. Like
And
90% of those people who watch Raw will just think he's some guy.
yeah,
Like who's that? He's like Vince is furious because the NXT ratings are low, and therefore he's going to bring main roster stars onto the show. But no wonder the ratings are doing crap when you have title contenders on your main pay per view and you don't even give them a name. Like,
yeah. Just
why are we meant to take it seriously? It's not the third brand.
And like, if you go, oh look, Shotzi Blackheart's in the crowd. She's challenger for the tag team things with Tegan Knox next week. Like,
they've got Chelsea Green in the crowd who literally teamed up with Charlotte Flair 2 weeks ago.
I know, it's mental, innit?
Didn't name it. Oh,
We'll move on before
on.
Simon has an aneurysm. But yeah, we had the tag team match. Correct result. Alexa Bliss gets pinned. Iconics still look clean as they're challenging for the belts. We had Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. This is where I went to bed, but I was told this was a really good match.
You didn't miss out. No,
Like
that's fine. It was fine. It went a little bit long. The finish was cool.
Wow.
So Jeff Hardy went for his like, he went for that move where he steps up onto the barricade.
Oh yeah.
But then like Sheamus hit him with 2 bro kicks and got the win.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, probably the right result.
Strange that the heel won, but
yeah. I don't know. I were expecting Sheamus to win, and I think we'll have to blow off at Extreme Rules.
Okay, yeah.
Jeff Hardy ladder match maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Ooh, I like that. I do like that. But yeah, Sheamus beating Jeff Hardy. Asuka and Nia Jax fought to a double count out. I saw the end of this. Stupid. Why do we do? First of all, count out endings don't work well. We don't like Nia Jax, no. Go on.
I don't care, nor did I care.
No, I care for Asuka.
Because Asuka deserves better.
She does. She's the best women's wrestler. I don't care what anyone says. In terms of on the roster currently, she's the best thing.
In terms of, well, yeah, like if other people, like if Bianca Belair was brought back from the abyss, maybe she might be.
Yeah.
But
Or Becky. Like for me, Becky's one of the best.
do you remember when Shayna Baszler was a thing? I sure do.
She's been moved to the Raw page now.
She's
she was sitting
challenging
on
for the
NXT
24/7 title, isn't she?
for whose?
I'm sure I saw something about Shayna Baszler challenging R-Truth for the 24/7 title. Have I made that up?
If you've made it up, you look like you're going to be on the booking team for WWE next week. Because that's going to happen now, isn't it? Imagine.
And just no, I think that's not a thing. It was Sarah. I think it was Sarah Schreiber on Raw Talk. Mentioned Shayna Baszler and R-Truth for the 24/7 title, but just like as a joke.
Ah, right, okay.
Right before Strowman and Miz and Morrison, I never really thought about it until Luke Owen from Wrestle Talk brought it up. But this match was ruined before it began.
Yes.
So Charlie Caruso saying that if one of you pins Braun, then only one of you's the champ. You're no longer co-champs.
Okay.
Right. So what happened? What did they sign a contract for the match? Did they just not read the contract? Why? So if only one of them gets the belt if they win, then they're not a team. It's not a handicap match. It's a triple threat.
Oh yeah.
And why would you there's no more intrigue in seeing Braun beat two singles wrestlers rather than a team. It was really flawed. I really like Miz and Morrison's music video.
It was great.
And I really like Corey Graves on commentary. Like whilst Braun was just walking to the back, he just kept repeating it. Like he just kept singing the main lyrics, trying to get Michael Cole to sing along.
He's good at being the good heel. We have got a question from Will. We'll answer it after the Universal Championship match.
Interaction
Of the NFL corner. Every Friday, I think. But yeah, we had the Braun Strowman defeating Miz and Morrison. Again, it's the same with Otis. He's not entertained. No, Otis is entertained.
Why? Right. I don't get why they're splitting up Miz and Morrison, because that's where they're going with this.
Mm-hmm. And Miz has already had his own segment on SmackDown. He's got Miz talk.
I woke up in quite a good mood yesterday, but now looking back at this card, I should have been a lot more harsh.
But yeah, Braun Strowman picks a win. I don't know. Otis is probably the next challenger
for Braun.
Yeah, he's got the belt. I think you've got to cash in the briefcase now before it gets stale.
Before it gets stale, he's only held it for five weeks out of 52.
I'm already getting bored of it.
Oh no!
We've
got a 5-5 segment on SmackDown.
We do.
So I think that's
yes. We'll say bit random. Who are your top 3 favorite wrestlers of all time? I'll go fine because I thought it's always the same. Dolph, Cody, Kofi.
Oh, God, that's very modern.
They're the 3 people who got me into wrestling. And for me, I put KO and Chris Jericho there, but I always say the first 3 the people that got me into wrestling.
I'd have to put Chris Jericho. This isn't something I've thought about very often.
I mean, if I'm going my actual favourite wrestlers,
it changes year to year.
If I'm going my favourite wrestlers, it's KO, Kevin Owens, and Cody. KO, Chris Jericho, and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, so I might say Chris Jericho. This is terrible. I wanna say Leo Rush.
Oh my God!
I'd love Leo Rush. And maybe. This is. I've not gone back and retroactively watched really any old wrestling. So I'm only going off what I know currently. So my third one would probably have to be Rey Fenix, and that's including his time in Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
I mean that's there. Apart from Jericho, they are 3 very uncultured picks. but that's
For me,
it.
Seth could be up there for me. But the
Yeah,
reason I always go for my 3 is Kofi. He was the babyface that I could always get behind, regardless of the match. Same with Ziggler, and even heel Ziggler I enjoyed. And then Cody, it was when uh, he had the mustache with Damien Sandow, and he got robbed of the Money in the Bank briefcase.
right.
So it was even before he had the Shield feud. There's just something about which got me snapped onto them 3 wrestlers in particular. But thanks for the question, Will. NFL Corner every Friday. We're going to Backlash though. We had the WWE champion Drew McIntyre defeating Bobby Lashley, which was a great match.
It was a really good match. We're not going to call it spot for spot because you can kind of imagine what it was like.
Mm-hmm.
It was a terrible finish.
Go on, I'll let you talk through it.
Right, yeah. So I think Lashley's probably setting up to win. Probably. Alana comes out, gets on the stairs, stands on the apron, but she's not really saying anything. She's just standing there. And then Drew McIntyre, Glasgow Kiss, Lashley falls backwards into Lana. Lana falls backwards into MVP. MVP falls backwards onto the floor. Claymore, 1, 2, 3. And then Drew walks to the back with MVP, not Lana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more or less confirming that, well, it happened on Raw, but they're not being a partnership anymore. Which I prefer.
What an
I do prefer
underwhelming way
MVP.
to end this story.
I know.
I mean, why was Liv Morgan? This is what Liv Morgan was outed as a lesbian for.
Yep.
Yep. Right, moving on to the match of the night.
Yes. So I've seen a lot of backlash for this. I think the biggest one was Jack the Jobber of Cultaholic saying, if you like this, you need to find a new form of entertainment that's not wrestling. Now, I think that's very harsh because wrestling is subjective.
Yeah, Jack's my favourite member of Cultaholic, but that wasn't very well worded.
Yeah, it's when he put it to I don't understand why I get it. And I think it was the reason he's getting it is because anyone can like anything. Like, I really like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Community, but some people might sit and watch through them comedies and say, I don't understand why you like this. And that's the same with this segment and wrestling segments. I enjoyed this segment because it was very different. It's very much like, do you know when we're getting 24/7 stuff happening 3 times a show? It was a much needed break from your serious wrestling. And this was. You've just come off a great match of Drew Beck and Bobby Lashley. Have a little relief segment, a comedy segment, because you're going back into another really serious match.
Yeah, this was the perfect comic relief for what was to come afterwards.
Yeah.
But it's just a bit unfortunate that I preferred this. I want to call this one because I'll let you call the main event.
Okay.
This right. It's so the fighting in the car park for some reason. Like nothing needs to be explained here because it's just too silly. Braun Strowman's car gets smashed. Then they all run away for fear of getting battered by Braun.
Fair enough.
Then they continue the fight backstage. The Street Profits pick up golf clubs. Eric picks up an axe, and Ivar has a bowling ball. Street Profits run away. They fight for a bit. Then they get to what looked like a wedding marquee. But I think it was just the tunnel to like gorilla or something. They put the weapons down, agree to fight like men. Ivar grabs the bowling ball and throws it at Montez Ford, who's lying with his legs wide open. Angelo Dawkins tackles Ivar through a window.
That was great.
It knocks Ivar silly. Ivar starts having dreams about all the women. Said he's cute, but Eric not so much. So then Eric says, no, so Ivar then says, right, let's take this fight outside. They are outside. They fight into the parking lot, and then lots of motorcycles roll up. And this was the bit where it gets the weirdest. Akira Tozawa is the leader of the motorbikes and cuts an Asuka-esque promo in Japanese. Raiders and Street Profits join forces to battle these enemies, and so they all kind of fight them off in the way that the Undertaker did the Druids in the Boneyard match.
Yep.
But then Tozawa brings out the Boss to face them, and it's only Big Jordan from NXT.
Jordan Behene.
Yeah, I've seen Big Jordan before. I knew it was him straight away purely because he's 7'3".
So did I.
So
the best thing was I joined the call after this thing. For people who
yeah,
don't know who it is, it was great because they think
yeah,
who's this big massive guy.
yeah. Ivar gets a turkey leg thrown into the bush, but then he summons his turkey back into his hand
He does
using the
the
Thor.
Thor thing.
Yeah, it says it on Bleach Report something about Thor.
Yeah, well, when Thor summons his hammer, he puts his hand
Right.
like that, and the hammer goes straight to his hand. He did the same with the turkey leg.
Is that what happens?
Wait, no, I'm sorry, we're stopping wrestling. Have you never seen Avengers?
No, I'm
Oh
not a
my,
film guy.
oh my,
Just
I'm not,
just
but
don't get it.
you've never seen. Wow. Okay, carry
No.
on.
I'll see that. See, maybe Jack the Jobber's right. Maybe I do need to watch some other things. They fought onto a production truck. All four men ended up in a skip or a dumpster, as they call it over there. The video ended with them right. So they've all fought into the dumpster. Ivar has another dream about turkey legs. Referee Jessica Carr comes over and says, "Guys, what are you doing? Your match is next." Um, and then an alligator. It turns out there's an alligator in the dumpster. It waves its tail, and then we fade to black.
Right. I'll tell you things that I don't like. I don't like that Jessica Carr was used as a simple, you're hot spot, considering she's the only female referee on the main roster. I
Oh,
think
come on.
it's a cheap. No, I think it's a cheap way. I think you should have. I don't know. I just feel like just because she was a woman, and she's the only referee. I feel like I don't know. It was one thing that it did piss me
Ah,
off. I was just like, oh, you could have used just an extra, something like, or even Charlie Caruso, or someone just saying, guys, your match is next. You know that, don't you? Like one of
yeah, all right.
the one who like, yeah. But I did like what Benbo said. I'm happy that Akira Tozawa is actually being used in the Mazer roster storyline. I like that. As crap as
You're not
it,
like this.
no, as crap as it is, it's giving people who will never be on the main, who never got a chance to try on the main roster, something to do. Like Akira Tozawa was just really jobbing. At least now he's got a character on the roster. He's there. Most people are enjoying it. It gets Jordan
I,
Jordan on TV to show, look at this huge guy. Like I like
no.
it. I agree.
Right, I'd agree with you, but I'm willing to say with much confidence right now, we will not see this group of ninjas again.
No, we
What we
will.
saw on Raw last night, that was it. That was the end. Big
No,
Jordan, straight back to developmental.
no, we're seeing him more. The Big Show came back. Come on, we'll talk about it on Raw 'cause that was great. But yeah, I really enjoyed this wacky segment.
Yeah, we'll find out on Raw, but Akira Tozawa will. This is it, done. Right, we'll see. I'm gonna have my piss break whilst you call the greatest wrestling match ever.
I know what you thought of this. Yeah, the greatest. They're hyping it up all month. Greatest wrestling match ever. Randy Orton versus Edge. And so I went to sleep. I'd watched. I'd read Twitter. I looked at all the replies, and people said it was very good. And I thought, is it or is it one of them things where people taking the piss? Put it on. It was really good. It was a lot of people modern day love your New Japan matches, your EW flippy matches. I know AEW's had a couple that are not like Dustin Cody. A lot of Cody's matches have been, but then you got your Young Bucks where these the high flying matches are entertaining and they're loved. But you sometimes have to have a match where there's none of that. and you had that with this. You had the best wrestlers ever. I don't care what anyone says, they are two of the best wrestlers ever. Putting on a technical masterclass, something that Orton has been thing as a technical wrestler. I mean, you had so many callbacks. Let me load up the picture because it's thingy. Where is it? There it is. So this is from Alice McCarthy said. Obviously, the angle slam. Kurt was a big thing in this. It
I'm
was
back.
Kurt said Edge would win. Randy hitting the angle slam. A pedigree. Triple H. Orton is Triple H's mentor. You had Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat flashbacks of the chops. Ric Flair, Evolution, Orton. You sort of had hitting a rock bottom. I don't know where your link possibly is there, maybe because Rock is one of the best. I don't know. Kill switch. Christian is Christian, like to guy who's had a history with both men hitting the kill switch. Not you, Siri, you're not hitting the both men. But he's just all the callbacks, everything just fit well. I know what you. I know you weren't a big fan of this, but for me, it was a
Come on.
it was a different style of match than maybe what we used to. It wasn't this flippy thing. It was a technical masterpiece for me. The callbacks were it wasn't just like they've just put him in because people recognize that it worked its way in the match. The finish of just him punting Edge, bring back the punters and the thing, him covering him, and then it's like when Orton, um, well no, it's the best Orton, and it's always said in wrestling and wrestling communities, Orton when Orton is invested, he is the best wrestler in the world, and it's come out in the news sheets that Orton is at that point of the career now where he wants to help people. Have you heard the story about Austin Theory?
Yes, because I
Um,
listened to it after the bell every week.
yeah, if you haven't listened after Bell Choreographs, basically Austin Theory, there were two appears. Theory went up to him, went to shake his hand, they did the elbow thing, and Austin Theory asked him, "We went, I've got this idea for a thing. I put him in a fireman's carrot, and then I cut to them." And Orton immediately without thinking said, "Yes, you can use the cutter." And I think Orton said, "Yes, I have had a bad rep. I probably wasn't as helpful as I should have been in my career. So it's my time to give back." He said he really wants to work with Drew. Drew has said he really wants to work with him. And this is it's just prime Orton. I mean, yeah. What did you think about
I absolutely loved the first few minutes. The whole, like the fact Charles Robinson was wearing blue and the whole
it?
entrance, the whole
Thing
not
tribute.
entrance, the ring announcing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realise that. I just, yeah.
I really like
The
that.
fact that the lights went out and it was introduced by them saying, like, "Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for." Like, it was so cheesy, and I just had the biggest smile on my face. And then I just right the crowd noise really
Really.
lost me.
At
The
the start,
alternate angle I didn't like.
at the start, the crowd noise did put me off, but then I just got used to it.
Right, I know. Like everyone listening will just be like, right, yes, I'm a massive mark for AEW. Yes, I do prefer my sort of fast-paced, flippy wrestling. Do you not like?
Yeah,
But I just thought like the opening exchanges were cool because like yeah, wrestling matches do start like that, and then it never ended. I feel like it never got out of first gear. The problem was like they were trying to have the greatest wrestling match ever, and that just ruined that. Just it's so flawed because like why when you're in such a blood feud, why would you try and have the greatest wrestling match? Why wouldn't you just get the win? Oh yeah,
I
I
enjoyed it
just
because it was both men hitting a move, thinking they've got the win, and then trying to adapt the strategy. We normally see in wrestling they just try to do the same thing. it weren't the same moves and over again. There was different moves. There was callbacks that were relevant to the characters. The finish, you bring back one of the most devastating moves in wrestling. The move that got Orton over as this dirty heel. For me, I really loved it.
I really liked the finish with the punt.
Hmm
That was perfect. But I really didn't like. I didn't look at them hitting all the big moves and be like, oh, that's a callback to this person. I was just like, oh well, that's one way to bury their finish.
Really,
Uh,
I didn't see it as that.
I just yeah.
But this is what
It,
you want from wrestling. You want people to talk about and like contrast it. Oh,
yeah, it
but
just
yeah,
I didn't see it as a big. I didn't see it as a. If it had been in front of a crowd, like maybe, but just in front of the NXT audience who were giving the most over the top reactions.
yeah.
If it hadn't been advertised as the greatest wrestling match ever, there's a. I think I might have thought it was all right, but
This is what I saw online. If
and
this
if
match wasn't promoted as the greatest wrestling match ever, it didn't have the whole thing, I could genuinely see it being match of the year. Genuinely.
oh
It's,
no,
yeah, it was very different. All the match of the year now are your AEW style. Oh, quick move stuff. It's a very different flashback, but it's still modern. And I think if they didn't have this whole rigmarole, the greatest show, it's going to be the great. If they just went, this is Randy Orton versus Edge, let them have the match. It genuinely could have been for me the best wrestling match of the year so far.
oh no, right. I would have preferred it if this just went 3 minutes
No,
and Orton just battered him. I'd have
no,
loved it.
because
But the
Edge
fact
needs.
44 minutes. They
Yeah,
actually they genuinely tried to have the greatest wrestling match ever.
like,
No.
that's what it was though. I was watching it, and it was. I think I was 25 minutes with her. Wow, I'm only 25 minutes. I thought I were only 10 minutes into the match.
Really?
Yeah,
I at the point when I thought I was bored, I did look at the clock and I was about 20 minutes in.
I suppose it
Um,
depends on what type of matches you like. I'm very
yeah,
mixed in
like,
mine, so
I was really hoping it'd just be like a 3 minute, just Randy Orton just batters him, kills him,
nah, you needed a
and
good
then
back and forth.
I started it and it was 4 hour and it was a 3 hour show and I went, no, this is gonna go really long.
Yeah,
Nah, there's what a way to get heel heat on Orton. I mean, I know it'd be false advertising, but it was false advertising anyway. So you might as well just go all in with it.
true. I understand, but
Low blow,
wrestling
punk,
it's subjective.
done. Yeah, it is. But maybe I think a good part of it maybe because this is the first ever Edge singles match I've seen.
Ah, right.
So I don't have all the nostalgia of the previous Edge run. I can
Well,
only go off what I
I
see right now.
I don't have like Edge nostalgia because I was never the biggest fan. I don't think I watched it when he was around, but I've gone back and seen Edge things and I understand how good he was.
Yeah,
Um, that was back. It was Backlash.
it was
Genuinely,
just
really good
yeah.
pay per view.
Just one more thing. Just another one of my main problems was um, I felt very patronised during all of it. Like, don't tell me how to rate the match. I'll make my own judgments.
Yeah,
Like,
genuinely,
if,
they
if
ruined
I'm
it by
being
giving it the greatest shirt, the greatest wrestling match tagline.
if, if if I'm being told it's the greatest wrestling match ever, I'm going to say it's not the greatest match ever because that's what you want me to think. Do you know what I
Hmm
mean?
Yeah,
It's just like let me form my own opinion, and if it is that great, that's what I'll think.
I think for a lot of people, the tagline ruined it.
Yeah. Well, it was made for Saudi Arabia, wasn't it? Really.
Probably, yeah.
And they just because like the greatest wrestling match ever in Saudi Arabia, yeah, I'd have been on board with it because like Saudi pay-per-views are just jokes, like they're a laugh.
Yeah. I mean,
They
that was.
shouldn't be happening in the first place, but when they do happen, they are quite funny.
hmm I think Backlash was very
Uh,
much show, and that genuinely, I think I'll class it as a good pay per view. Like, because you had Apollo Andrade was a decent match, too short, a bit too short. The
yeah,
women's
it
tag
was
team
it was
match,
main event level.
uh, women's tag team match, I quite enjoyed. Sheamus Hardy, it was a good blow off match, but that overdid expectation. I think everyone thought it was going to be this quick, easy. Jeff wins, quite like that. Asuka and I forget about that. Braun. Miz Morrison, wrong result. Drew Bobby, great match. Street Profits Viking Raiders, great. Randy Orton, great. Kieran said, "Wait, so you guys don't think it was the greatest match ever?"
I was just gonna say it. I know I'm very much in the minority, but it felt very much like a glorified Raw with I'm gonna say it, a boring main event. But I know I don't speak for most people.
Yeah, but again, wrestling is subjective. We'll go on to Raw now.
I know I'm lingering on it, but if you know you've got Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles on the card on SmackDown 2 days earlier, why wouldn't you just put this Edge Orton off till SummerSlam and have Bryan versus AJ as the greatest wrestling match ever?
Because this was a good match. We'll go on to Raw though. We'll try and get away from it for you. But great. This is genuinely great coming from Benbo. Thank you, Bruce Pritchard, for last night's Raw because it was definitely one of the best Raws this year. And also, do you think Bruce Pritchard will bring the Hacker to Raw? First of all, one of the best Raws of the year, guaranteed.
I only kind of half watched it, but it looked all right. Well, it looked decent.
It was very entertaining. We're all watching it. Like I said, we're watching it together, and we realised that they were using a lot of the same wrestler. Iconics were in two live segments. R-Truth and Drew were in and MVP and Lashley were all in backstage. And MVP was, I think, in every single backstage segment nearly, apart from maybe two.
And do we think the Hacker will come to Raw? No, I think the Hacker's done. I think it's a drop storyline.
I think if they haven't dropped it, which I really hope they haven't, put it over to Raw, because I think SmackDown, now that Riddle's come across, you make SmackDown that's what it was originally supposed to be, that sports oriented show. Unfortunately, you've got Otis says your Money in Bank holder, but we ignore that. But you make it more sports.
I take it back. I don't think they've dropped the Hacker because I think the Hacker will show up this week because the Hacker's main focus is all about breaking up tag teams.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Miz and Morrison are on their way out, aren't they?
Yeah. So yeah, possibly.
So I think it might have something to do with that. Yeah. And do I think it was the greatest wrestling match ever? Yeah, I've made my bit.
Yeah, Kieran, I you know my thoughts. And Ben, I love the new Extreme Rules logo. So do I. It's very snazzy.
It is very nice.
So is it green and purple one, right?
Yeah, I didn't like the existing. Well, I don't like Extreme Rules as a pay-per-view, but I guess it's a fresh look.
Fresh look. It's very Joker-esque.
Right.
Oh no, it's not. It's very what was it? Oh, it's gonna pee me off. They used this loadout similar before. Starcade used the same colour scheme. That's what it was.
Possibly, yeah.
But we'll start on Raw. So
what a show.
Raw opened up with Randy Orton coming out, stanking Edge for sort of reigniting the Legend Killer. And then Randy Orton started mocking Edge, saying how you need surgery in your injured tricep. And then sort of chatting crap shit more. And then you just hear the best theme in wrestling, one of the best themes, Christian's theme. He comes out and sort of, we're expecting him just to sort of defend his friend. He comes in the ring, they sort of have war words, and Orton goes saying, you know what? Unsanctioned match. I know you're not medically clear, so we have an unsanctioned match in the main event.
Did you see WrestleVotes' tweet before Raw?
I can't remember. I don't know if he wrestled. I think it was Sean Ross Sapp saw retweeted someone's saying that there was a big thing.
I mean, maybe I'm not as enthusiastic about this because I saw WrestleVotes' tweet where they tweeted like the eyes emoji, and then they said, and sometimes scars never heal. And I was like, all right, so Christian's coming back.
All right, I didn't see that. I just saw that. Definitely tune into Raw because it's a good one, and there's quite a big shot.
I was really hoping it was going to be Dijakovic, feasting your eyes and that. But
maybe, yeah. Kieran says, can't believe Velveteen Dream didn't debut. So we had a running joke. I think when we go back to uni, we're going to, Kieran and Kieran, because we're all living together, we may be trying to do reactions every Monday for Raw. Maybe.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I can't say that.
So you'd be fast asleep. But we may. We'll see. But yeah, we had a running thing about Velveteen Dream debuting. Kieran was adamant that he was going to debut at Backlash. He never did. So anytime we saw someone who just appeared on the screen, it was Velveteen Dream. But yeah, Christian had basically had the whole evening to decide whether he wanted to wrestle in this unsanctioned match. Then we did have Kevin Owens versus Angel Garza. So we had a little backstage segment before of Garza and Selena, kind of typical promo. Andrade comes in and just says, "Good luck, mate," but like not really good luck, if that makes sense. But yeah, KO Garza sort of started with Selena. Garza and Andrade were bickering outside. Selena went, "Stop! I'm leaving. I'm done. Like I'm going." Then so match goes on. She leaves. Andrade then tries to distract Owens, but Garza can't capitalize on it. Owens hits a stunner. Then after the bell, Owens leaves. Vega comes back out and just tells them to stop fighting each other and fight together. Like so, we're probably going to get a bit of tag team matches for a couple of weeks, and them two sort of not being able to trust each other. But yeah,
yeah. What a sad end to this fantastic stable.
He's carrying on the feud though. I don't mind it.
Yeah. Kevin Owens has probably had the most underwhelming comeback since beating Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
Yeah, mine. I never really saw it to come back, to be honest.
Well, it wasn't a comeback, but like how, like Kevin Owens beat him twice at WrestleMania, and then he came back from injury, and the first thing he did was host the Kevin Owens show.
Yeah.
What?
I think
What?
Kevin Owens is one of them things that he can just come in. He doesn't need to be this big name. He can just come in and do a good job. He's a name that people know. Oh, that's Kevin Owens. I'll tune in. Oh, I was wrestling this guy. Who's this? Oh, it's Angel Garza. And
Yeah.
KO can immediately go into a big feud and not feel out of place. So
Well,
he
I think,
can do this for a couple of months.
I get that, but I was just gonna say like I think the point I was making was just it's a waste of the momentum
Yeah, true.
that he had.
I
And
never saw it as that.
if Kevin Owens turns heel on Angel Garza, not Angel Garza, on Apollo Crews, like he's just going to turn into the new Big Show.
Yeah.
I mean, Big Show did flip flop yet again tonight.
Yeah, but it's not as much as I think he's only had a couple, but yeah, we'll move on. I don't mind the KO like with how he's been portrayed now. Not everyone can be the main event or the big segment. Like we had Seth being halfway through the show with an amazing segment. So
but,
yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Lashley and MVP came out starting to probe about how McIntyre were lucky and stuff. Lana comes out and basically accuses MVP of interfering in the marriage. But Lashley goes like, "Well, you were using me to become famous." He said, like, "You just used me for your own gain." He went, "Well, if I was going to use anyone for my own gain, I'd sleep with Drew." Lashley went happy, and then he just went, "We're getting a divorce." So poor Lana, because everything and Liv Morgan, poor characters who probably didn't get not a chance to shine. I'm trying to word it where.
It was an awful direction of storyline that's thankfully come to an end. Lashley will move on to far bigger and better things. Lashley should be main event, like just stay as a main event player.
Yeah, he's great.
Lashley's money right now.
Though. MVP helps really well.
He does. Call me biased, but I preferred him with Leo Rush. But MVP.
You like Leo Rush though. But yeah, Ben Miller said, "Did you hear one of the Performance Center guys test positive?" Yes, one of them.
Yeah.
Luckily, I don't think he was a wrestler.
You not think? Well, it's more just the fact that like Vince didn't allow anyone to wear masks in Raw.
One thing that I liked about Raw was they brought in real fans, which was great because it did make it. They brought in the realness of an actual crowd. But yeah, Vince didn't allow them to wear masks, which is the
He's not a good person, and this is just
WWE confirmed developmental talent tested positive for COVID-19. Therefore, everyone on site will be tested immediately out of caution. From two sources, WWE tapings will not be taking place on Tuesday. One was told by one they are hoping to resume by Wednesday. That everyone's sort of being tested by then. Yeah, it was always going to be a risk. I'm surprised we haven't heard anything out of AEW as well, considering they started the crowds earlier. I know
Well,
there is
the difference is this is the first time WWE have done a test. AEW test every single
I know.
person before they enter the facility, as any responsible company would do.
Yeah, I mean, also, so the Jacksonville Jaguars are still training now, so everything's going back to normal for the Americans, which is just mental, which it shouldn't be. Like Jacksonville's wide receivers putting a video of Instagram of him and the attacking, like the offensive side training, and it must be just be like the Tony Khan and stuff of the testings and stuff, because I don't think any other NFL team has come back on in terms of their full offense or full defense coming back to training. It just must be that Tony Khan and Shad Khan money being able to get all them tests. But we'll go back to Raw. We've got the best Raw. So right, okay, if I remember, Street Profits and the Viking Raiders come out for an 8-man tag team match. Tozawa enters with 3 ninjas. The 3 ninjas get absolutely decimated. Then Tozawa brings his big ninja in, the Jordan. I can't say his name.
Big Jordan. That's his ring name.
Big Jords stands on the thing. Who's gonna take him out? Well, it's the Big Show. The Big Show comes out, fights off the ninjas.
It's a Big Show face turn.
It's
because he was heel at WrestleMania, wasn't he? So
yeah, I like Big Show. I'm at the point where I don't care if he returns as heel or babyface.
I did laugh at the way they introduced him on Raw Talk.
I didn't watch Raw Talk.
They didn't mention any of his accolades, but Charlie Caruso was like, he returned tonight. Ladies and gents, it's the host of The Big Show show. The Big Show.
Well, they've got to promote it, don't they?
It's worth watching his Raw Talk, because Big Show was like, look, if Randy Orton wants to be the new legend killer, I'm not scared of Randy Orton. I know what Randy Orton's all about.
Nice.
Like, it was a bit, not calling out Randy, but it's one to look out for his show versus Randy.
Mm-hmm. The ninjas retreated. Yeah, well done. Now coming on to one of my, I had 2 great segments of favorite segments Raw. This is one of them. So Seth comes out by himself and starts cutting a promo. And Rey Mysterio appears on the Titantron, and them 2 have a war of words. And basically Seth goes, "Well, Murphy and Theory are looking for Dominic. We will find him. I know you didn't send Dominic. Dominic came off his own back, and maybe Dominic, if he's doing this on his own back, maybe he can come help me." And sort of trying to sort of hint that Dominic could join the Messiahs, sort of betray Rey, like it. And then Seth's just talking and talking. It's the one thing that Seth did great. Rey's talked to him, and then Seth starts to cut the promo back, but he doesn't. He just looks at the ring post and just stares at it and just refuses to look at Rey. Which I loved. Seth gets on his knees and starts praying and saying to Rey, like, when we find him, we'll get you. And then you see a blue figure crawl behind, sort of a spear with the shoulder into the back of Seth. Dominic just attacks Seth, throws him into the ring post, throws him into the barricade. Murphy and Theory come down. He evades them both, runs away, laughs at him. Murphy just headbutts the plexiglass, which I thought was just weird. Dominic runs off. Dominic looked good. In terms of
go on, Big Dom.
We only saw a couple of things, but he looks smooth in the ring. He genuinely, he looked safer than Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Which is mental to say, considering Nia Jax has been wrestling. Well, not wrestling longer, but
I really like this segment. I really like Dominic. I really hope that they handle him well.
Kieran else said a good thing where, and I agree. What if Dominic joins Seth, not like properly? Do you know when Brian joined the Wyatt family? Orton was in the authority.
He baits them in.
Bait him in. So he just goes, "I'm sorry, Seth. I've realised my error in my ways." Joins them. Rey comes back next week, tries to convince him. He takes down Rey. Rey allows it, and then we get further in. And then all Dominic, boom, just attacks them both. Gives Rey the upper hand.
Yeah, it's a good angle, but they could quite easily go the other way, and both of them would be good.
Yeah,
They've done this really well. I'm
yeah,
looking forward to seeing where it goes.
same. And Seth is
I mean,
so good at
do you
promos.
reckon we'll end up with Seth versus Ray at Extreme Rules?
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Or maybe a tag team match, maybe Austin and Theory and Murphy versus Dominic and Ray. Dominic Ray pick the win, sort of allowing Ray to get Seth.
Yeah.
I'd
Or
happily
maybe,
let this feud go out if Seth's cutting the same amount of promos, the consistent level of good promos. Happily allow it.
Yeah.
But yeah, great promo. Then the Iconics came out to tag team match against Natalia and Liv Morgan. Just hit the magic killer on Liv Morgan. 1, 2, 3.
Iconics were on form tonight.
Iconics were on form. There was
Promo.
20. Yeah,
Go on.
they were great.
They
I
are
don't
the
think Liv
best.
should have been. I think Natalia should have been pinned over Liv. I think Liv should be kept stronger. But
Oh well, yeah, of course you do. They had that backstage segment as well, didn't they?
yeah, Natalia and Lana. So Natalia and Liv, I think, started arguing. Or Natalia would talk to someone. They leave. Natalia starts talking to herself. Lana just appears. She's been sat in the corner watching. She appears out of nowhere. So it's looking like Lana's going to manage Natalia, or Natalia's going to take Lana under her wing.
Sure. I don't have anything to add.
I mean,
Good,
before we get
with Morgan back on TV, but that's about it.
I mean, so then we had Apollo Crews defeating Shelton Benjamin. I mean, I'll talk about it after, but MVP was in a lot of segments. This one was sort of MVP went up to Apollo Crews and was sort of trying to bring him over to his side. And Crews said, "Thank you, but no, thank you. I don't want your help." Comes out for the match against Shelton. Shelton goes for a dirty pin. Referee spots it. Apollo practically immediately after pins him 1, 2, and then he just holds the ropes and gets the third. Ref doesn't see it. Apollo sort of using dirty tactics to get the win.
They're giving Apollo Crews a bit of personality, aren't they?
The guy's like, well, what's he doing now? Is he going to be a naughty boy? Or?
I don't know whether we've covered this before. Shelton Benjamin's last singles win on TV was on October the 2nd, 2018.
In fairness, I don't think he's never been billed as a viable threat. But he's like
Do
wrestling.
you know who he beat though?
Let me guess right.
By pinfall.
Lashley?
No, Daniel Bryan.
Oh my god!
I don't remember this happening either.
That was on SmackDown.
It must have been a distraction.
It was. I think it was a distraction, but he still hit his finisher and pinned him.
Right.
If I'm right in thinking. I can't. Yeah. I mean, it's 2 years ago, but.
Yep, his last singles win on TV 18 months ago.
Fair play to him. But yeah, but I like that Apollo now thinking, does he join up with MVP? Possibly. Who knows? We'll go to tag team match. Drew McIntyre and R-Truth defeating Bob Lashley and MVP. So throughout this show, we were getting a bunch of segments. So so MVP and Lashley would talk backstage. Truth just appears next to him and they go like, "Do you mind? We talk privately." Truth doesn't care. Truth was on form today. And it goes, well, you don't have any backup now. You've got this match in the thing, but where's Drew now? And he just runs off. They confront each other later, both tag teams, and basically the match is for both belts now. So if Lashley wins, the championships go to him. If same with MVP, vice versa. If Truth or Drew win, they save the belts. And Drew's not happy about this. And so, because R-Truth basically said, we'll put the titles on the line. Go away. We come back to another segment. Drew's backstage, and Truth goes, "Don't worry, I fixed it. It's just for the WWE Championship. I can't lose mine." Drew's just absolutely pissed off with him. Going into matches like, well, is Drew going to attack Truth? Tried to do the match 2-on-1. And then we get to the actual tag team match. Drew, after a bit of back and forth, Drew hits a Claymore on MVP. And then he doesn't cover immediately. He tags Truth. Truth hits like a minor frog splash. 1, 2, 3, giving Truth the win. Really enjoyed Raw, this segment of Raw. Truth was on top form, just being hilarious.
Well, I'm going to say I didn't really watch the match, but McIntyre and R-Truth were on Raw Talk, and they were really funny.
Yeah, McIntyre.
Yeah, they were good duo.
If you watching the whole show, Truth was just on the top form. Yeah, they bounce off each other quite well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful that Pretty Ricky's dead.
Yeah, same. Bembo said, "What do you think Bray Wyatt will do on SmackDown?" It's looking like. What do you think? I don't know. Maybe AJ.
He'll just call out Braun. No, I think he's going back to Braun. Because think about it. After Bray Wyatt got beat at Money in the Bank, it was just Wyatt sat in the corner, and then the Fiend graphics kind of flashed up.
Yeah, true. And then we did.
And then obviously he went away to have children. Not him, JoJo, but
he didn't have the kid himself. But
now he's back. But I don't think they'll bring the Fiend out for Extreme Rules. So
do you think?
Lovely.
I don't think he might not appear on the show just because of the leak of COVID-19 and the thing. Even if it is like managed, if he's just had a kid, surely he won't want to be going to the performance center. I know they've promoted it now, so they must do. But
yeah, I mean, it's one reason, I guess. Yeah, he probably won't want to bring it home, I guess. But I'm surprised Vince would allow him to do that. He'd just be like, just get into work at all costs.
Don't care. Yeah. We did get sort of Sasha Banks and Bayley came out now, sort of addressing what Iconics challenged them to a match earlier on the night. Iconics did come out again. Iconics on top form, mocking the locker room when they were crying when they won the belt, when they lost the belts and Iconics won. Royce slapped Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks was on the floor back to crying. Bayley was going, "No, you don't hit my friend. You get the match next week." Sasha just looked pissed off, like, "Why are you doing this?" Great, quite a decent segment.
Yeah, love the Iconics. Iconics are the best. Get the belts on.
After we had a segment I don't care about, Asuka defeated Nia Jax through roll up.
Oh, come on, it's a Backlash rematch.
Who cares?
This was the finish that it should have had.
Yeah. Jax pushed John Cone. John Cone went to go disqualifier, but Asuka rolled her up 1, 2, 3, probably a fast count, but it's Nia Jax. Who cares? I'm not invested in Nia Asuka.
I don't. I mean, usually when you say who cares, I kind of retaliate because I'm kind of bothered, but this time I'm not.
I like Asuka. I care for Asuka. Not.
Yeah, well, I think everyone does, but it's hard to care at the moment.
Mm-hmm. But we do get word into the main event. So Christian throughout the night is contemplating whether to do it. The show comes up to him and just says, "I mean, think about this. No one will like crap on you if you go say no." Ric Flair was like, "Just don't do it, Jay. Don't do it, man." Christian comes out. Charles Caruso runs out and basically just goes like, "Well, what do you say?" And he went, "I accept." Comes down to the ring. Orton comes out before the match starts. The match doesn't start at all. Ric Flair comes out to the ring, stands just trying to convince Christian. Christian goes, "No, Rick, move." He steps forward. Rick's behind him. Boom. Dirty low blow.
Yeah. Right. Do you think we're getting an Orton Flair pairing?
No, I think it's just Rick being the dirtiest man in the business.
Right. Good, because we can't. I'm gonna say we can't rag on WWE for sending Jerry Lawler home because he's in the vulnerable category, and then they bring back Ric Flair who's 71. But
yeah,
if it's just a one-off, that's fine.
Yeah, I think it was just a one-off. But yeah, so Rick low blows. Christian's then just crouched on the floor. Orton looks at him, bounces off the ropes. Punt. First of all, the punt's great now in this because it can do the clever camera cuts because of obviously the pre-taping and stuff. Christian sells it perfectly because Christian goes down, legs crossed, and he doesn't move the entire segment until lights go off. Orton looks at him, and it does just the most careful pin ever. Does go nowhere near his neck, just leans his body on him. 1, 2, 3. And then he goes up, just cradles his head in his hair, and he tells him to come down. And this is the best Orton character work. He's going, I didn't want to do this, Jay. I really didn't. Like, please, I'm sorry. I didn't want to do this. As he's there just holding him. And then something just switches in Orton and goes, you made me do this. And just starts shouting at him as being put a neck brace on. It's Orton. He had me captivated. And that's what you want in it. Like, I didn't want to look away because Orton was just shouting, then changing characters back again, and it just went off all with Orton just staring at Chris like, this Orton is class.
Yeah, the Orton characters are really complex and layered, and there's a lot to it. It's really good. I really enjoyed the segment after Raw when Christian was getting stretched out and like Orton was just remorseful but then kind of smirking. And
Yeah, it's the voices. It's what his theme song says it.
yeah, it's really good. But where
this is the
does
best
it lead?
I don't know.
Does this end up with him beating?
Well,
I mean, like, when Edge eventually returns, hopefully at Survivor Series?
Yeah, well, he's out for is it 3 months, 2 months?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was 8 months.
No, it's not that. It's not a series.
Yeah, well, I saw 8 and then I saw 6 and then I was like, hopefully Survivor Series. That's in 5.
Tricep tear recovery thing. Oh,
he's had the surgery, which is good.
You once full range of motion strengthening exercise can begin usually at 4 to 6 months after surgery. Patients can expect to recover close to their full range of motion strength at a year after. See,
it says on
tricep, wasn't it?
Yeah, it says on WrestleTalk between 4 and 8 months, and given that the surgery was like successful, they're hoping it'll be on the lower end. So we'll go for 6.
They'll just bring not legends, but they'll bring back sort of our legends, if that makes sense, like your 2000s, 2010 guys for Orton to just sort of have these character switches with.
I mean, it's not a good thing to say, but I'm just happy it wasn't a neck injury.
Yeah.
But it's made a little bit bitter in the sense that Edge had the injury doing a retake. I don't know if you've seen that.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, so he didn't actually get it injured on what was on TV. They had it injured when they asked him to redo a spot.
Oh, no.
Yep, exactly.
Imagine that. Imagine you've just busted your ass and like, well, we need you to redo this thing. And then that's how,
It must be so infuriating because it just must like take you so out of the moment. Like, you're so into the match and the emotion, and then just like some guy comes out and says, "Oh,
you can tell that." Like this Orton segment, you can tell that was all not live, but not cut. Because I think if this wasn't cut, it wouldn't have the same effect. If Orton's passion wouldn't have been there, the Christian selling just wouldn't be as much. Like I just realized, like Orton uncrossing the legs as he's covering, helping the thingy, pleading with the doc. Oh, he's prime Randy Orton, and I love it.
Yeah, it is really good.
It is, but that was Raw. Genuinely the best Raw of the year so far.
Oh, that's a bold claim. No,
the one good segment was Nia Asuka. Genuinely,
I can't think of a Raw that was better, but purely for the fact that about probably 10 Raws this year in front of crowds.
True.
I think that gives them the edge, regardless of what happens.
The Nia Asuka thing was the only one that put it down for me. Everything else was great. Even like the Iconics versus Natalya and Liv, it did everything it needed to do, and the Iconics were entertaining. Like, yeah. I mean, that was Raw. Great episode of Raw. But before we end,
yes.
Go on. Let's have our rundown.
Right, on NXT UK this week, we had Bret Hart versus British Bulldog from SummerSlam 1992. I really like these recap episodes because, like, obviously, I don't go back and watch any old stuff because I'm too occupied watching the new stuff. So it's quite cool to go back and, especially this, because this is like not an iconic moment in British sporting history, but it's a big moment.
Yeah.
And then we had Toni Storm versus Rhea Ripley, but it was when like Rhea Ripley was halfway between what she is now and like original Rhea Ripley. So it's kind of cool to see her like that. 205 Live, we had Ever Rise. Are you familiar with Ever Rise?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, on NXT. They defeated Adrian Alanis and Leon Ruff.
Okay. Yep.
Have you seen that Leon Ruff has now done it all? Within the space of 3 months, he's been on Raw, SmackDown, Main Event, 205 Live, and NXT.
He's a journeyman.
He's completed it. He's completed wrestling. Go
Fair
on, Leon.
play to him.
And then the main event was Danny Burch, Swerve, and Oni Lorcan defeating Jack Gallagher, Tahuti Miles, and Tony Nese. And that certainly did happen. And on main event, Bianca Belair versus Ruby Riott. Why is she not on TV?
I know. Mental in it. She's so good.
And in the main event, we had Shelton Benjamin defeat non-ninja Akira Tozawa.
Ah, right.
So it was all right. It was a pretty average episode.
No,
of the main event.
We haven't done this in a while. And we normally have like a quiz or something. This is the main event segment. Right. I want you to list me, because of obviously AJ winning the belt, I want you to list me every Intercontinental Champion backwards. So obviously AJ is the one now. Can you give me an order going down? How far do you think you can go?
Wait, from AJ right now?
Yeah.
To get more than 5.
Right.
Oh, right. Oh.
It's like who held it for AJ then?
I'm thinking, right, okay.
So obviously
AJ Styles.
Yep.
Sami Zayn.
Yep.
Braun Strowman.
Yep.
Now we're struggling. Who did Braun beat? Braun beat.
Braun beat.
Oh no! Oh, do I get 3 guesses?
Yeah,
Braun beat. Didn't Braun beat Sami Zayn for it?
Nope. Got 2 guesses left. You're close. Very close indeed.
Oh, was it Shinsuke?
It was Shinsuke.
Yeah, I seem to remember that now.
So I'll give you a clue now. So that was all the SmackDown ones. So now we're on Raw. So this champion that you're going to say next was the final Raw Intercontinental Champion.
Oh god! Now we're getting a bit dodgy though, because it's like we've had a brand split and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Who did Shinsuke will have beaten?
I can give you the date.
Yeah, go on.
April the 7th, 2019.
No, 2019.
Which is WrestleMania. And Shinsuke held the belt for 6 months.
Wait, right. Shinsuke won it at WrestleMania.
No, so Shinsuke won it at Extreme Rules. This person won it at WrestleMania 35.
Oh, Finn Balor.
Yep.
Finn Balor got it off Bob Lashley.
Yep.
Bob Lashley got it off because that was Leo Rush and Lashley prime pairing. That's why I got it so quick. Bob Lashley got it off of. Oh, are we going back into 2018 yet?
No.
Dean Ambrose.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah.
Babyface Sami Zayn.
No, this is going to really piss you off.
Big Jordan. I don't know.
Finn Balor.
It was
Balor pinned Leo Rush in a 2-on-1 handicap match.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was an elimination chamber.
Yep.
Because Leo Rush had that iconic gear. Oh, I'm a Leo Rush stan.
And then it was Ambrose was December the 16th.
I knew Ambrose had it.
And then you got Ziggler, Rollins, Miz, Reigns, Miz.
Yeah, because Ambrose had it when he was doing the whole gas mask thing. He beat Seth for it. Seth beat Ziggler, and that's when Seth and Ziggler had that Iron Man match in the main event of Extreme Rules. Boy, I know my history.
I mean, do you think you can name the top 11? No, the top 10 wrestlers who've had the most combined reigns?
Jericho's number 1.
He's not.
What, for Intercontinental titles?
Combined reigns, it says. So it means by days.
Oh, I thought you meant reigns. By days?
Yeah, sorry, by days.
Well, Jericho's got to be in there.
Nope.
Jericho's not in there.
No,
It was
he's
like
number 16.
historical people, like Harley Race or something. I don't know.
No, do you want me to tell you?
Is Kofi Kingston or The Miz in there?
The Miz is there. The Miz is number 2. The Miz
Course,
needs to win the belt. 22 more days, and he would have broke the record.
Bloody hell. Who's got the record?
Pedro Morales. He only had 2 reigns, but the combined reigns were 619 days. There's genuinely no one from the 2010 upwards.
Is there not?
Pedro Morales, The Miz, then Don Muraco, Honky Tonk Man, Tito Santana, Razor Ramon, Ultimate Warrior, Randy Savage, Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels, and then number 11 is Wade Barrett, 12 Ziggler, 13 Shelton.
No way has Wade Barrett held it for more days than Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, he's had 5 reigns, 397 days. Ziggler 6 reigns, 372 days.
Wow.
It's mental. There's been reigns. Do you know one of the short two? Can you guess? Can you tell me who the shortest reign is? There's 2.
Are they recent?
One's recent.
Braun Strowman.
Nope.
Didn't Braun only hold it for a few days though?
Braun held it for 37 days.
Alright.
Great WrestleMania moment.
Great WrestleMania moment. Oh, Zack Ryder's one-day reign.
There's Dean Douglas who held it for less than 1 day. AJ Styles is currently 83rd. So he's
Zack
only
Ryder's one-day reign.
Mental, innit? Kofi's 20th, by the way. So Cody's 21 and Dean's 22. Mental.
It's kind of at that Ryder lost it to the man who is Mr. Intercontinental title.
I want Miz to go on a big Intercontinental. I want Miz to break the record. I think he'd be the perfect. I think he's had the most reigns.
Mm-hmm.
He needs one more and he's tied with Jericho.
Yeah,
I think he'll do that.
I was going to say, in the Intercontinental title video packages that they ran on SmackDown of all the great champions, they didn't put Jericho in.
Yeah, considering Jericho is the most. Yeah, but yeah, I might try to do that every week. Maybe choose a belt and you have to tell me the lineage.
Yeah. Don't tell me though.
No. But that has been the Wrestling Corner episode 19. If you haven't heard of us, we are the Sports Corner YouTube channel. We don't produce wrestling things. So obviously Tuesday it's us, the Wrestling Corner. Hello. On Wednesdays it's Top Corner Football Podcast. Obviously with all the football coming back, it's business as usual for us. We'll be talking about the Premier League, the Bundesliga, the Serie A, and La Liga. On Friday we have got the NFL Corner. I don't know what the lads will be doing, but it's Fridays. On Saturday we have Bundesliga watch-alongs. We have football watch-alongs because obviously more teams coming back. But that's just doesn't stop there. On Tuesday, so tonight, both Kierans are doing watch-alongs for the 2 Bundesliga games. Well, they're doing Paderborn and they are doing Bayern Munich because it's a big relegation game. Werder Bremen have got Bayern Munich and Paderborn have got someone. Who have they got? They've got Union Berlin, which is a big relegation game. So they're going to be watching that tonight, more probably. So just stay tuned. It'll be on the Twitter. I'll be on the YouTube. And if that's not your fancy, how about a virtual Euros tournament that is currently happening in 4 minutes over on the Twitch channel? Josh has been slaving away making a virtual Euro tournaments where all the Sports Corner guys are on it, and everyone that watches videos has been on it is on it. We drew teams. Currently, I think we're on the final match day. We've got Portugal and Kosovo playing today, and we've got big Germany-France game. I've got England. Simon has got, I think, Czech Republic. So currently, I'm last in my table. Simon is, I think, second because he's got a draw. But yeah, if you go on Twitch, Josh every day 3 p.m. is streaming the games. So there's no proper Euros, but at least there's a virtual one. But that's Wrestling 19. Thank you, Simon, very much for joining me.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for allowing me to vent about Shotzi Blackheart not being recognised by name.
I mean, considering the difficulties before, we still wiped out a good episode. But thank you for joining us. Best ever episode of Raw of the year. Thank you, and goodbye.